Let's talk about the Champions League final. Something that, we talk about transfers, if buts and maybes. We know the Champions League final was on Saturday. We know Chelsea are playing Man City. Has Chelsea's form, losing 3 of our last 4 games, changed your thinking going into this Champions League final at all tactically?
No. Because I don't know, I don't understand why people are saying, we've got no chance. It's a final. People forget it is, and it's not just any. It's not the St. Johnson's Paint Trophy final. It's just the Champions League final. We beat Bayern Munich in our own backyard. We had no right winning that final. I know it's not the same. I'm fully aware, but you can't predict finals, Dan. How many shocks have we seen in finals? They happen all the time. It's very rare that the best team comfortably wins a final. Unless they are just levels above, but. Yeah, Man City are a better team than us, absolutely. But I don't think they're levels and levels and levels above us, especially not in a final, not in a Champions League final. I think anything can happen now, anything can go wrong. So no, in recent form has not really worried me at all, because what worries me is we do look tired, we do look overrun. I think Mason has been absolutely burnt to the ground, which I understand why he has, but that explains his dip in form and a few others dip in form, I think, Daniel. I think it's the tiredness in them. Which is why apparently there's been a couple of days given off, and I think Tuchel's aware of that. So what else would worry me potentially is the experience factor of, yes, Chelsea had this naivety about them, which is actually great because we kind of just went at Real Madrid, whereas most teams wouldn't have done that against such a European powerhouse, and we did because of the youth, and it worked out. But Man City I know they haven't been there, but they've been there, if that makes sense, and Guardiola's been there. So is Thomas Tuchel. Tuchel gives us a massive chance, Daniel, I'll be honest. I think he is the key. I think he would be the biggest reason we win this game, would be Tuchel, because he's one of the only managers in the world that can match up to Guardiola tactically. So, yeah, the recent form doesn't worry me because the final was a one-off game. Both teams have not been in a Champions League final for a long time. Well, City never, right? So I think that helps us in a way. I think the spirit of 2012 will come up. I'm sure that'll be used as a motivating tactic. So Chelsea won't feel the pressure of being the underdog, I don't think. I think they'll like that. I think they'll enjoy that. Again, we didn't enjoy being the favourites of the FA Cup final, did we? So I think that actually serves us in our favour. So, yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, I just want to see, and I think we will see a very tactical game. If you want me to give a prediction, if City score early, I think we're in trouble. I think City have this way of punching teams and beating them up when they score early and get confidence. So I think we're in trouble there. I think 0-0 suits us. As long as if we get 0-0 60, 70 minutes, I think that suits us. And I think if we score early, that suits us too, because we know how well we can be in a defensive scheme. So prediction, I'm not going to say who's going to win because, again, I don't want to be that guy because it's a Champions League final. But, yeah, I think we've got a chance, man. I think we've got a real good chance. And I don't understand people writing us off saying, City are just too good and they're amazing. Well, Bayern Munich were unbelievable in 2012 and look at that. And City, it's a final. It's a final.
I think, my pessimism towards it isn't, this team under Tuchel has done really well in big games. They thrive in big games. I think part of that is because teams like City will come and attack us. We won't have a low block in front of us to break down that we struggle to deal with. As you say, the psychological thing is that we've beaten this City side. All right, it's not the first team. There'll be players playing for City on Saturday that haven't played much in the previous 2 games against City. You think about Timo Werner, it's a game probably for him. It's going to be a counter-attacking game. Do you think that that's sort of the approach Tuchel will have, a sort of the way we saw the FA Cup semi-final play out? The league game was a little bit different. Chelsea got a lot more space in behind. I mean, City, I think Pep he literally just played Rodri on his own in midfield, and we exploited that to a great extent in the second half. He's not going to do that again, I know for sure. One of the big tactical battles I think that could be in Chelsea's favour, that I don't think I'd be stunned if Pep does it again, is allow Reece James to isolate Benjamin Mendy on that left side, because we saw in the Premier League game how devastating Reece was. But that could be an area, couldn't it, that Chelsea could have a lot of joy in.
Absolutely, yeah. The Rodri thing he'd be stupid if he lets that happen again, because he just got overloaded completely. I'd be surprised if he starts Benjamin Mendy. I don't know do I see Mendy starting a Champions League final? I'm not sure. You just never know with Pep. And I know a few people have made a joke about it, but it can't be true with Pep sometimes. He sometimes overthinks things and overanalyzes, and because he is so good and he's just got the mind of he's a genius. Let's just say how it is. So there is that concern probably from City fans, like, does he overthink this? You know, City are the better team. City play the better football. Like, if they go out and play 10 out of 10, they'll probably win the game. But you can't guarantee that in a final. And he might make a couple of changes that maybe are not necessary to beat Chelsea. So you do have that. And I think Tuchel will be aware of that. I think for Chelsea, Dan, you said there, the counter-attacking stuff, I think that suits us. I don't think we need to go with a possession battle against City. Number one, we'll probably lose. And number two, we do have this tendency to get lazy and nonchalant when we have the ball a lot because we think it's just going to happen. And I think kids are like that. Kids, it's more the youth side of us. We think it's just going to happen. Whereas if you're a more experienced outfit, you know you've got to go out there and get the goal early and punish them and really settle down. So I think it will suit us. I cite the Liverpool away game when we won. Mason scored that great goal at Anfield. That was a perfect game plan for that game. And I think a similar game plan, of course, you've got to tweak it a couple of times for City's midfield. I think that game plan will work for us. And I think, like you say there, Timo Werner will be a big part in that. And he has to play, he has to start. And I think he could have a big moment, Kai too, because Kai seems to be doing it in Europe. I know a big discussion point will be, do we start Christian Pulisic? I don't know. I don't know.
So based on that, I mean, you think about the lineup he started against Madrid in the second leg, which was Mason just behind. Well, actually, I mean, at times it did look like two number 8s, actually, Mount and Kante. And then you had Werner and Havertz sort of as a front two that were quite fluid. And of course, it all moved around at times. I mean, do you think that that's the maybe approach? Because I've seen, you talk about Liverpool, I've brought this up a lot on my channel, that, and this is why the FA Cup final really disappointed me, because I felt that Ziyech, Werner and Mount have formed quite a good chemistry in both the Liverpool wins and the Man City semi-final. That looked like a really good front three, counter-attacking wise, with both Mount and Ziyech dropping deeper, Werner making the runs on the left channel. That's how and Werner for some reason loves setting up Hakim Ziyech. So do you think Ziyech is, I think a lot of people wouldn't have Ziyech in their starting 11, to be honest, based on his performances, but do you think he could start this game?
Yeah, it's a definite wild card that you can see happening, right? I think Ziyech's been in the later stages of Champions League, obviously with Ajax. He's got that magic that I don't think many people in our team possess. And like you say, yeah, he works well in a counter-attacking system because of the fact that he can receive the ball with space and he can find that final ball quickly over the top, which a lot of people can't do. Like, you know, Jorginho is not the best at that. Conte is not the best. Conte's underrated in his long passing, but he's not with the whip and the precision that Ziyech has. So I wouldn't be overly surprised. I don't think it will go down well. I'll tell you that. I don't think it will go. But what team will go down well? But yeah, I could definitely see it. I really could. I'm really intrigued to see if he starts Kai Havertz. That's the real big one I'm looking at. Like, is he going to do it or not?
What about the other than the front three, which is always the big discussion point? I think we know if Kante's fit, he's going to start probably alongside Jorginho. I mean, between Jorginho and Kova, despite their disastrous performance at Aston Villa, right, I would still have Jorginho and Kante. Those two have worked well in the Champions League. I think the other big discussion point is what he's done with Reece and Dave recently. In terms of he's played Reece at right centre back in the last 3 games. And he played Dave at right wing back in the Champions League semi-final. And Christensen's now back, who's been a big player for I mean, there is a scenario that Reece just doesn't feature as much as that would disappoint me.
Definitely. It depends on Christensen's recovery, of course. I mean, risky game to throw back in Christensen, but I mean, his form has suggested that he if he's fit and healthy, he could play. And James has been dropped at surprising times this year. It's not the first time it could potentially happen, right? There's been moments where he's had good form and then all of a sudden he's out of the team. I do think that there's part of that is, you know, as with Equator, if he gets beat, it's okay at right wing back because you have the 3 centre backs. So I think that's why that's occurred a bit more, even though it eliminates Reece's obviously crossing ability, which I still think can improve. I know he's a good crosser, the boy, he's a fan, but I think he can still improve in that area, and of course he's still young. So yeah, I could definitely see that, Dan. If Christensen's healthy, of course, Rudiger will start. Obviously, Silva will start too. I would, if I was a betting man, I would bet that Reece and Azpilicueta do start. But am I going to be overly shocked if Christensen gets in there? Probably not.
Yeah, I think that's the only one I've just in recent weeks, because I think for a long period of time it seemed to be the front three that was the big discussion point every single game because he was rotating it. But now that's another position that I think has come up for debate. That's just really intriguing going into this final. Well, thank you so much, Dan, once again for joining me. Great discussion. I think it's a little bit of a silly question, but I want to pose it because I think it's a good one to ask Chelsea fans this week. In terms of what would it mean, of course, to win the Champions League again, because I remember the emotion back in 2012, how monumental it was for this club. It's never going to top Munich. Nothing ever can. But, I mean, it would be just astonishing, wouldn't it, in terms of it's the pinnacle. And for this group of players, some of whom have been maligned, and this may be their last time at Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm one of these people, Dan, who doesn't get excited until the moment is kind of there. I don't know if you're the same, but like, you know, you book a holiday, right? And then you don't really get excited until you're like there the day before, you know? So I'm not really overthinking it right now or really focusing on it because it's still a week away and so much. I'm obviously a bit of a geek for the coaching side of it. So I'm just really intrigued to see what he says in his interviews in this week and what we kind of hear, what I will hear about what's going on in training. But yeah, no, it will be huge for two things. Number one, kind of cynical, I guess, but recruitment. If we win that, then the recruitment will go into overdrive. I think Chelsea will definitely hop on that and use that, just like we did with Ian Hazard, of course. And then also for the careers of these young guys to have a Champions League winners medal under their belt, the invincibility that they will feel and the confidence they will get from that is unrivaled. There's no other game in the world that can give you that. Obviously the World Cup, but that's not Chelsea. So I think for Reece, for Mason, for Ben Chilwell, for all them guys, I'm talking about Christian Pulisic, it will just be unrivaled invincibility and confidence for their careers, and they'll feel like they can do it again and again. You'd think that hopefully they'd get another chance eventually, right? But you just don't know. There's just no guarantee. So yeah, it'll be, of course, Dan, the obvious answer is it'll be huge and it'll be amazing for Chelsea Football Club. But when I'm just trying to dig a little bit deeper in the term, the recruitment will be huge for us, and of course, for our young core, it will just provide such invisibility, and it will be huge for us. And I'm really excited. I'm excited, but I'm not, because I'll be honest with you. I'm at a tournament this weekend with my team, so coaching, and you're not going to believe this. The tournament I'm at is Man City Cup. It's a tournament sponsored by Manchester City, so all their academy teams come over and play. So it's all Manchester City. Sponsored. They've got a club shop there, and I was there 2 years ago actually, Dan, and it was when they won the Premier League and the League Cup, so they had the trophies there, and our good friend, of course, a legend at a legend, but Sean Wright-Phillips was there parading the trophy and everything, so I'm sure they're going to have the game on, and I'm going to be there coaching at the same time. I'm hoping I don't get a game scheduled at the same time so I can watch it, but yeah, so I'm actually going to be surrounded by Man City fans that weekend.
It could be, really, that could be a really amazing story if we win. You being surrounded in enemy territory, basically, as you're the only one celebrating, basically. But it will be interesting, and we can only dream. Obviously, it's just nice to dream about a potential European Cup. Thank you, Dan, so much. Just before we go, give you a chance to shout out where people can find your work. Obviously, you inside continuing your podcast, your articles, where people can find on Twitter and online too.
Yeah, appreciate that, buddy. You can find me on Twitter at Macca Sport, MACCA Sport. So you'll find, some tweets and videos there, I'm sure. A lot of people have been asking for videos more, so I'll try and do that as much as I can, including today, maybe for Declan Rice. You can find myself and Simon, obviously, at our Si and Dan Talk Chelsea platform, articles, podcasts, all that fun stuff on our website. So, definitely check it out, and I appreciate that, Dan. Thanks a lot, buddy.
No worries. All Dan's work will be in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Stay tuned for more Champions League final build up on the channel, and I'll see you again.